What's up, everybody? Welcome to South Beach Strategy. I'm your host, Jay Kuza, and today on our episode, we are bringing a friend of ours of the show, KB, the rock star, serial entrepreneur and podcast host of Stroke of Success. But I don't think people know that it was the stroke that helped you get to the success, right?
That's right, buddy.
So tell us a little bit about your background, where
Sure.
you came from.
Thank you.
I learned a lot from you on the podcast, where you came from, but I want to really dive deep into that,
Awesome.
So where are you from?
Please, thank you. First and foremost, Jay, thank you so much for having me. Means a lot. Just share with the audience how we met. I met you virtually. I was following one of your ex-girlfriends, and the whole cabal here in South Florida came across you, and I just liked your lifestyle, the way you were living, the man, like you're a man of your word. And I reached out to you. I said, "Hey Jay, I'm doing a virtual podcast. Come on by." On virtually, we did it. I think our friendship started from there. And so once again, thank you for having me on here. I'm proud of you. I love your setup. I follow you very closely. What you're doing is amazing. So I salute you, number one. Number two, I am from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised in Brooklyn. Mom and dad from Pakistan. Pakistani immigrants came to Brooklyn, New York, like most of our parents did back in the 80s, 70s. One bedroom apartment. My apartment, where I lived for probably 18 years, probably this big. One bathroom. It was pretty tough. My dad walked out on us. I was about 6 years old, 6 or 7. And one fine day, he's like, "I'm leaving." And I remember this scene, Jay, like a movie. I'm 6 years old, about this short, and he had this jacket on, his suitcase. My mom's crying here. And we had a long hallway from our apartment to the elevator. And I'm looking at him like this. I'm like with my arms open. He gives me his half a hug, and he goes, "Son, I'll see you later." And that moment was a catalyst in my life for a lot of destruction and also a lot of success to follow. Fast forward from that, my mom raised me as a single mom. You know, food stamps, welfare, government assistance. I remember standing on Fulton Street, downtown Brooklyn, for getting food stamps. Many cold mornings with her. I look in her eyes, and she had this look in desperation, looking down at me. There was no hope. My grandmother moved in with us, raised me as well. Fast forward, I turned 17. She comes home from the hospital that one morning, and she says, "Son, I have cancer." This is the number 2 event in my life that has changed me forever. Mind you, give me a little brief history. I'm the only child to her. Single mom, only son. Our bond was so strong. And, she was my world. And so she had to get her breast removed. And my uncle was living here in South Florida. He comes to us. He goes, "Listen, guys, I'm going to pick you up from Brooklyn, move to South Florida, Miramar, Florida." And we packed our bag. We came to South Florida. I got into the fitness industry. I was selling my gym memberships, partying in Miami Beach. And she was recovering pretty well until one fine day, we get a phone call from her. "Hey, son, they found the cancer back." And the doctor had told me before leaving New York, say, "Hey, KB, if her cancer comes back in 5 years, she won't make it." And yeah, man, Jay, I lost her. I was 22 years old, and she lost her battle of cancer. She was 46. To put in perspective, I'm 43 right now. So I have 2 young daughters at home, and I just imagine what she was going through, and what I was going through. This is the year 2004. Miami is the hottest place to be. Crowbar, the hottest nightclub. Opium Gardens. You have Puff Daddy, Jennifer Lopez, Lenny Kravitz, all these people you see around. And the drug scene was hot. And what I started to do to numb the pain, I started to dabble. And pretty quickly, I started a dependency on some painkillers. And that was rough. And this is back when painkillers was the hottest shit in the world. Like this, South Florida was the pain mill of America. And at the same time, I met my girlfriend, who's my wife now. And here's a beautiful girl on the way to medical school, meeting this bad boy from New York who was a sales guy, entrepreneurial, and who's now
Pakistani.
Pakistani. And he's dabbling into, some weird stuff. And it got bad, man. That I remember. I lost my mom. The economy is falling apart. The real estate market, I was a realtor loan officer, so that whole market is falling apart. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do, man? Like, this is bad. And I'm 22, 23, 24 years old. And dude, I got some help for that. I got off of that. Man, my wife like, listen, I'm gonna become a doctor, homie. Like you, I get you're a hustler, you're a real estate agent, you're an entrepreneur. You know, everyone's an entrepreneur, right? Until one time comes, she goes, listen, I need you to go to school. Go to school and get a degree, but my mom won't give you my hand. So I'm like, okay, shit. So I went to school, FAU, got my degrees. We got married, and fast forward, Christmas Day, 2017. I had one daughter running around, 1 year old, and one on the way. At this time, I am a marketing director for a tech company in Aventura. My wife is working for Memorial Hospital in Hollywood, Florida. She's a physician. She does the shifts there. It's Christmas. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have Christmas time with the family. She's like, babe, I'm going to the hospital. I have a shift to do. Left my one or two more shifts she had to do. But I had called the babysitter to come help you with the kid. And man, Jay, I thank God that babysitter was there that day. I go upstairs to take a little nap, and I just fell on the floor.
Boom.
Right side just gave in. I have a droop, and I'm like, I grab my left hand, my phone, and I'm texting. I'm calling my wife, like, hey, babe, and she's like, babe, I'm at work. It's got you. What's wrong with you? I'm like, and she's like, stop playing. And she's like, oh shit, like, she's a doctor. She sees all the day long. At the same time, my babysitter texted her, hey, Senora, Senor KB's on the floor. She's like, oh shit. Call 911. Ambulance came, EMT came, grabbed me, took me to the hospital, Memorial West Hospital, Pembroke Pines. But brother, I tell you what, my wife was in your place right there. I saw her. I'm like, who is this person? I'm confused, and I hear the alarm, the system saying stroke alert, stroke alert, stroke alert, and you see everyone running. You have the stretcher coming out, and this is a little bit of humor for the story. I had to pee, but I can't communicate that with them, so I push everyone away, and I'm running down the hall, kicking down the doors to see a bathroom, and there's no bathroom. My wife comes, and they call a security guard, like 6'2" African American guy comes walking. Get over here, sir. My wife goes, do you have to go to the bathroom? I'm like, guys, give me a bin. Give me a bin. And as I'm peeing here, standing there with my gown on, I had a nurse come from the back and give me a shot. And that was all she wrote, bro. Boom. Christmas Day to New Year's Eve, I was knocked the fuck out. I was in an induced coma. What had happened was my carotid artery here had a dissection. How that happened, no one knows. There was a wedding. We have our Pakistani, so we'd take the groom and dance on his shoulder. Maybe that happened. I don't remember. But no one knows what was the cause of it. But going back to it, my wife was told by the doctor that call his friends and family, call his father, his stepmom, to come say goodbye. He's not gonna make it. And here she is, man. You know, the champ she is, 9 months pregnant, standing right there, looking at me and hearing him talk to her. She's like, no way, this is not gonna be it. And he goes, no, Dr. Sam, I think this may be it. So fast forward, my dad came, everyone came. My boys came from Brooklyn, Queens, LA, sitting right next to me. I have no clue. I'm just knocked the fuck out, dude. Like, ventilator in my mouth. And they're just hanging out, like, just like, a gathering. And everyone went back eventually. I woke up on New Year's Day, January 1st or 31st. I woke up, I saw this football game on TV. My hands are tied because they were telling me that I was grabbing stuff off, and ventilator in my mouth, and it turned to my right hand side. And one of my closest friend, he's an ortho surgeon for the Heat, sitting right next to me, Dr. Fawaz, and he looks at me, and he goes, KB, you had a stroke. Relax. Your baby's fine. Your wife's fine. You'll be okay. Just take it easy. And I'm like, oh, this can't be it. Brother, the feeling of that happening and you realize what's happening and you realize that you have a second baby on the way in a month's time and everyone comes and looks at you like you're like a piece of meat, like, oh, he's still there. It's a feeling that I can never forget. I just celebrated my anniversary, December 25th, and like I still remember it like yesterday. This would be a good story for your audience. The doctor came He goes, KB, can you do me a favor? And I knock my head. Can you move your right foot? Nothing moved, Jay. Can you move your right hand? Nothing. Like that's okay. He looks at my wife. He goes, okay, can you say some words? And the word they asked me to say, Jay, was word buttercup. KB, say the word buttercup. If you had $100,000 on the table and said, KB, say the word buttercup, I'll give it to you, brother, I could not say it. And I heard him took my wife to the corner and say to her, like, hey, Doctor Simon, I don't think he's gonna survive. He survived it. I don't think he's gonna be able to function normally. We may need him to be in a wheelchair. And dude, it's like bedside manners. Like I guess maybe they thought when I hearing this, I heard that, and I was like, oh, this is not it. This is not it. I didn't come this far. My mom didn't sacrifice her life as a single mom to raise me and give me whatever I wanted, and this is how she wrote it. This is it. And I'm accepting this in my head. Bro, I'm a grown ass man. I can't walk to the bathroom. I have to get a help to come in. Remember, this very nice young gentleman came. He said, rolled me over like a baby, wash me down, put me back together, and this is gonna be my reality. And sets in, and you're like, you look back at all your decisions you made in life, how valuable life is, and then the movie Batman: Dark Knight Rises comes on TV. This movie was my movie. Batman is my character from childhood.
Love that movie.
Love it. This is the one that Bruce Wayne breaks his back.
Yeah. The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Bane breaks his back.
Yeah.
Bro, that sad scene is on. He's laying down there. He has an old man talking to him. And if you could pick it out of yourself, you can make it up there. He gets up there. He falls down again. The chanting. And that scene came in. And that scene, in my opinion, was God's sign to me that this is your back broken, but you need to rise. And Jay, I swear you, I might get goosebumps. I shared this story on stages. I shared this story on podcasts. I look up, and I go, God, I need one more chance. If this is it, then yes, your choice, and I'll accept it, of course. But if you give me one more chance, I promise you, I'll be an example and go out there and spread the word of positivity. Not religion. I don't bother people with religion. I believe in a higher power. I love Catholics. I like Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim. I like everyone. My thing with my higher power was I would go out to spread the word of positivity. Don't give up. Keep working. Keep fighting. Have faith. And I made a prayer, laid back down, and next day, this little girl comes up. She goes, hey, can we clean you up? I go, no, give me a walker. And she goes, sir, your wife, Dr. Simon said that you can't walk. I go, I'm going to ask you very nicely, give me a walker. Sir, give me a walker. And I grab a walker. I'm barely walking, Jay. I'm like falling apart. But I'm moving. I'm going from A to B to C. My wife walks in right there. Babe, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it. Guys, I told you. And they goes, ma'am, he forced us to do it. He told us to do it. I go, babe, 1 second. Like this, I can't give up. I didn't give up on all the stuff I went through in my life before. This is not the time I'm gonna give up. I went to the bathroom. I took a piss on my own. I walked back to my bed. I lay down. Fast forward, I got moved to a rehab hospital. And I remember I went for rehab for the first day, physical rehab. And my PT, my physical therapist looks to me, and my wife, he goes, he will probably need a walker for most of his life now. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, why are you guys writing me off so fast, bro? Like, I'm 35 years old. I'm there. Like, why are you writing me off so fast? And fuck it, hey, man, I'm going to prove it to you, too. I like to prove shit. If you say to me, KB, you cannot do that, just something inside of me wakes up, like, I'm going to prove it to you. Fuck it, bro. I started going hardcore in therapy and started getting my movement back, my speech back. I had to do speech therapy for at least 2 to 3 months. Like learning how to speak again, learning how to read again. And by the time I'm up and running, my daughter was on the way back from have her birth. I was so happy. That was my biggest concern, was to go to the hospital and hold my daughter as she gave her, my wife gave her birth. And I went back to my company to start my job, and my owner of that company, who's a good friend of mine now and my mentor, Alex, shout out to Alex, he takes me for a walk. He goes, KB, I love you to death, bro, but like we waited. Not your fault, but we had to move on. You know, one day you own a business, you'll realize, and I realize it now. I don't know, you own a business, we own a business. And I go, Alex, how the fuck do you do that to me, man? Like, I was your guy. I was just number 2 guy in your company. I was supposed to get equity down the road. I was supposed to get. He goes, KB, look, you know, I feel like you went through a lot of stuff. Take it easy, bro. Like, take it easy. Recover. We'll talk when you're in a few months. I started cursing him out. And, you know, and I eventually made up with him. But at that time, he was my enemy, right? And I'm driving home to my in-laws. So yeah, we had a townhouse, my wife and I, beautiful townhouse, 2-story. My wife was so traumatized living there. She moved in with her parents, my in-laws. She had needed help with the babies. Husband is barely walking, talking. I'm driving home from Aventura back to my in-laws. I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my God, what a loser. I'm crying. I'm like tears down my eyes. I'm crying like, you know, they gave me their beautiful daughter, a doctor, to marry this guy who fucking stroked out at 35, lost his job, good for nothing. You know, if your self-esteem is on the floor. You know, we were part of this IT group in South Florida. You know, if you're part of the medical doctor group and big mansion parties, and now you're the person who had a stroke and doesn't have a job, it's like your self-esteem gets shot. I'm thinking all these things driving there, and lo and behold, they embraced me with a hug. My wife said, babe, my biggest thing for you is for you to be walking and able to take care of yourself. The fact that you could even help me with the kids, don't worry. If you don't have to wear, if you don't work a day in your life again, as long as you're alive and you're healthy like this, I'll take it. And, you know, hearing that from her, man, like, you know, it just proves that I chose the right person, the right running mate. For your audience here, you know, if you're in your 20s and you like to, you know, sleep around, and especially these amazing, beautiful girls in South Florida, fine, do it for a while, but make sure long run, find your running mate. Like, you have to have your people in your corner, keep you steady and stable, and they'll tell you when you're wrong. But anyways, going back, I was sitting across like this, me and her, baby in my arm. I'm like, babe, you had the interview go today. I was going for a bunch of virtual interviews, VP, director, marketing guy. And all the interviews are bombing because my self-confidence is not there. My speech is not 100%. I'm like, babe, I'm bombing all these interviews. I want to work. I can't be home with the kids. Like, she's like, you know what? Why don't you, you did real estate years ago. You're a people person. Why don't you start real estate again? Sell a home or two. You know, if you do it, if you don't, it's not a big deal. And Jay, I went back for my real estate exam, passed it, and bro, like, I started getting into self-development. Tony Robbins, Patrick Davis, all these gurus, manifestation, spirituality, mindset, pure mindset. And man, I was like, slowly, I'm able to turn things around. My neighbor, my in-law's neighbor was selling her home. I got word of it. I went to knock on the door. Classic story. I go, hi there, and like, oh, we're okay. About to close the door. I put my foot there. Excuse me, one second. I'm your neighbor's son-in-law. I heard you want to put your house on the market. I'm a real estate agent. Listen, I'll do it for a discount. I'm a stroke survivor. I have 15 years of sales experience. I promise you get the best dollar for your house. She's like, okay, let's talk. Got the listing, sold one house, 2 homes. Boom, boom, boom. It started to 10x. I got a call from my broker in Orlando. He goes, hey, but you're doing really good in South Florida. I have a team here. So why don't you come over and take over the team, and I'll give you a percentage of everyone's production. So instead of now me going after one home at a time, I have 38 I'm making money off of. And my career went 10x, man. We moved from South Florida to Orlando, 2 babies with us, 3 and 2 years old. My wife got a job at a local hospital. And that was my entry in entrepreneurship.
Shout out to your wife.
Yes, man.
She's the boss.
She is the boss.
And shout out to everybody else's wife that's in a similar situation that holds it down. I have a best friend, and his wife, he had a similar thing. He just was not. I was gonna get into that with you in a little bit, but a lot of people don't bounce back. I have a friend. He's my age, and he didn't bounce back, and he's working on it still. It's been years, and he's working on it. He had an accident, and his wife holds him down. And when I see these, like I hear your story and I see his story, it's like, man, there's good women out there, you know, and I think she's a big reason. Like you said, I mean, everything you attribute to where you're at right now,
That's to her.
and that's why it's stroke to success, because the success came after the stroke.
100%.
And she was a big part of that, and you know, your hustle. So your story is a real story of resilience. You know, you became an entrepreneur, a keynote speaker, podcast host, and your story is about rebuilding your body, your business, and your life from the stroke.
Yes.
You know, and I think that tells a lot about your character. A lot of people, they pack up and they check out mentally.
Yeah. I mean, I had that choice, right? And you have two choices in life. You do faith or fear. I chose faith over fear. I mean, and of course, you know, as human beings, we have a lot of fears, right? So fast forward, the real estate thing when skyrocketed. At the same time, me and my wife sat down like, hey, like we had always had this dream to open a clinic, a wellness/aesthetic clinic where husband and wife can go together and not be judged like, oh man, they're out of shape. And we had this name that was very symbolic to us. It's called Noor. Noor in Arabic means inner light. Like, wait a minute. Like, we were able to find our inner light through wellness, aesthetics, and working out and doing the best version of our life. So what if we open a clinic? And so we went up together. I'm like, hey, let's work together now, husband and wife. But she was like burnt out of the hospital world. And we opened Noor Med Spa and Wellness in 2024. Knock on wood. Did amazing. Opened my second location 2 months ago. That's coming along really well. So now my full-time gig is CEO, co-founder of Noor Med Spa and Wellness. And it's so funny. It circles back 100%. Like the stroke was a sign that I was not well. You know what I mean?
Was the stroke had something to do with drugs? Because you were talking about the pills and then you went into the stroke. So were they correlated?
You know, I don't know. There was a big lapse of time there.
I feel like maybe you might think that there is, because when you say the story, you talk about the pill use.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you go into the stroke story.
Yeah.
So do you feel like they might have had
Maybe,
some correlation?
Man. Look, you know, my wife was not that comfortable with me sharing this, and I tell her, if my story can change someone's life, then I'm willing to share it. Like I share my vulnerability. You follow me on social media. I share everything. There was dabbling happening over the years. Was I the healthiest person? No. Was I the happiest person? No. I was a zombie prior to the stroke, dude. I was unhappy in my job. I was unhappy in my body. I was overweight, bloated, drinking Coca-Cola, eating pizzas. I hated my job. I hated, you know, my wife is a beautiful girl. Me and her were not even completely, you know, attached at that time. The way our marriage is now is nothing like that back then. So did that over the years have to do something with it? Who knows? Maybe. And with that being said, I know marijuana is legal and it's all good. I have nothing against marijuana. But to the audience out there, hardcore drugs, it's okay in a nightclub and, you know, and you want to go with friends, a bachelor party. But when it comes to, you know, people using it to numbing their pain, to every day, if your every day requires you to use something, even if whatever it's alcohol, whatever, I recommend you reevaluate your life. It's just not to numb yourself to survive the day, whatever it may be. For some it's porn, for some it's gambling. I mean, porn addiction is off the roof right now for men. It's messing up the person's self-concept. So it could be gambling, it could be ice cream, it could be anything. If something you have is that you need to use every single day and your life is unmanageable without it, that's a test to say. If your life becomes unmanageable without it, then you have a problem.
Porn thing is funny. That might just be because I think a lot of guys feel outpriced for dating right now, because it's like you gotta spend so much. You feel like a single guy out there might feel like he has to spend so much money to date and probably doesn't want to spend that kind of money, and maybe they turn to porn for some cheap satisfaction.
Easier,
you know,
yeah.
because
on the demand.
Yeah, because they're not out there looking for in the right places. You know, where did you meet your wife?
Nova, Davie.
But in how?
College.
Through college?
Yeah.
To school.
Go to school.
She was going to school, and you were going to school too?
I was not. I stopped there at a party to say hi to her
So through
friend.
some friends. I think we talked about this
Yeah,
before, right? Dating through friends is probably the
You
best
said
way.
that.
Yeah, right? When
You
we
said
talked
that
about
on
the
my
last one.
podcast,
Yeah.
and the best advice probably ever. I think you have to have some good friends too, though.
Yeah, you have to have some good friends, people you could trust. But
Yes.
you got to know the source.
Sure.
And that's with anything. I think you got to know the source of if somebody you don't trust or like too much is recommending you somebody, maybe you don't want to go on that date. Know.
I
But
agree
if
with
your friends are your friends and they're like, hey, we got somebody that we know, and I mean, look, it turned out great for you.
Yeah.
And it turned your life around, and it had a huge. Where would you have been without her?
Oh, buddy, she gives me that crap every day.
She gives you that crap every day?
Every day. She's
No.
like, you would probably be doing, some random shit.
She has a card to play. She got a card to play on you. You know what I mean? She's gonna be able to whip that card out for a
she'll be
long
your
time.
best friend,
Because
Jay.
where
She'll meet
would
you
you
one day.
be?
Buddy, I think about it sometimes. I don't know.
She's not in the picture.
Yeah.
You're in the hospital.
Yeah.
What's next?
Oh man. Who knows, man?
It's tough. Same thing for my friend that I know. I mean, if it wasn't for his wife, I don't know where he would be either. And he has a great life right now. It's like these people are the backbones to that rehabilitation.
100%. How's your friend? Like, how long have they been together? Husband and wife?
They were married and had a baby right before he had the accident. The baby was like just born or something. He was riding his bike back to Coral Gables. He used to do the 10-speed, those bikers that you see in the morning that would take those long runs. He would do those long runs in the morning, and at the corner of his house, coming back, a bread truck ran him over, and he was in a coma for like 6 months, And now he's bounced back. He's getting his memory back and he's getting his mobility back. But I don't know if he would be as far along as he is if it wasn't for the support system that he has. And I make sure to tell his wife every day because I don't know if he has the ability to tell her. So every time I see her on there, I'm like, man, my friend without you, I don't know where he would be right now, Because we used to work together in the gym business. So I think when he started bouncing back, I hadn't spoken to him in years. I hadn't spoken to him. But when I think he started getting his memory back and he started getting like on Instagram and stuff, I think he thought we were still in the gym working. So he was writing to me. Like if we were working that day at the gym and I would write back, because I understand that he associates my face, very familiar from the gym when we worked there when we were 18 years old or 40 something, but that's what I think his memory was, relating to stuff to, like the gym and all these things that I hadn't thought about in years. And I know it was his wife holding him down and helping him get back into place. And now he walks on the treadmill. He's with his daughter.
He's walking.
He's walking on it. Like he walks with like a walker, a little help. So he's bouncing back. He gets on the treadmill. I've taken him to the gym. We went to the gym.
Man.
Yeah,
What
so
a
he's.
story.
But not everybody bounces back the way like you did. Like you had a huge bounce back. Like you're an entrepreneur again. You're working. You got you speak to people.
Yeah.
You give motivation. And I know you don't like to talk about the drug use being a correlation, but a lot of people I know did drugs and they didn't bounce back at all, and they're 6 feet under right now. So I think that, it's like it can come at any time, and it comes in many different ways, but the drug use, it's like interest, it compounds, and eventually one day, some God's going to come and cash that check,
You said it.
And I think
You said
that for you was more like a call to action, like, okay, KB, let's take this another route. You know what I mean? You have all these blessings in front of you, the wife, the kids. Where are you gonna go? And now you have a beautiful family. We always talk about that.
Thank you.
And I don't want to ruin our podcast.
Yeah.
So let's go into
Yeah.
podcasting a little
Sure.
bit because that's
Let's do
one
it.
of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on.
Yeah.
You're one of the reasons why we are here today.
Yes. Thank you.
There's 3 people that I think are responsible for me being and having this podcast right now. You won because you were the first person to invite me. A friend of mine that pushed me to do it, and then an ex-business partner of mine who always used to tell me, use your social media for the business. You have such a good following. People follow you, da-da-da-da-da. And I never wanted to do it, but he was always behind me, pushing me. And it wasn't until we were no longer business partners again that I actually took his advice and got into it. But you played a huge role in that because your podcast was the first one. So a lot of people think podcasting is set up an iPhone and start shooting and talking.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
No, man.
How long have you had yours?
Good question, bro. You were like the first 5 guests I had. I think so. Mine started about 2023.
So right at like COVID's dying down.
Dying down. My wife was sitting next to me. And I was always a big fan of Howard Stern.
How many years had you recovered from the stroke at this point? Just to kind of put it in perspective.
Yeah, good question. 2017 was a stroke, and it started in 2023, about 5-6 years.
So 5 years after the stroke, you're already podcasting.
I'm podcasting.
You're podcasting.
Podcasting, my wife and me are sitting down. I was a big fan of Howard Stern back in the day. I like the way he used to use psychology and he used to go to people's childhood and to come and show how them talk. I feel your childhood affects your adulthood. So I learned from that from him. I learned from Larry King. I learned from Joe Rogan, Patrick Bet-David, another one of my inspirations for podcasting. And I'm talking to my wife about it. She's like, babe, dude, what are you waiting for? And I go, babe, I don't have the right lighting. I don't have the right this. I go, babe, shut up. Get your laptop. Call your friends. You have a lot of friends. Just do it. Just start slowly. And I call her brother. Shout out to Billy, my brother-in-law. I love him to death. Billy, I go, Billy, I'm thinking about opening this podcast. Give me a name. He goes, bro, I got the name for you. I go, what is it, bro? Stroke of Success. What the F? Amazing. This is it. This is going to be it. But someone told me you should use KB's World. And I remember I heard Patrick talk about it one time. He goes, he could have, when he's opened his company, Valley Entertainment, he could have called it Patrick Entertainment. But he goes, he wanted to name a company without him in it. Maybe SOS could be so big that I could step away and other people can take over. And so that's a vision for us. So I'm like, perfect. So we designed the logo from some guy in India, and he designed it for me. My laptop, bro. My first episode, I'll send you to via text today, is horrible. My wife is watching from work. Like, are you in the bathroom? It's so cloudy, and the camera is horrible. And it was horrible, dude. And from there, slowly had you on. I got these lights in the back. Then slowly I got into studios. I shoot 2 places, Miami and Orlando. I have 2 or 3 studios I come here to do, and I have 2 over there. And I've gone to Arizona to interview some people, California, and that's So that's been 2 years of SOS, over close to 100 guests so far.
Yeah, because you take your show on the road.
Yes.
So it's not set up an iPhone and just start shooting.
No, in the beginning, yes, but no.
So it's been years. So you take your show on the road, and you just every day you're working at it. So what advice would you have for people who want to start their own podcast?
That's a good question. First and foremost, ask yourself, why is it you want to start it? For me, just like yourself, I was a social media guy. I still am. I think for me, branding means a lot. My end goal, and I swear to you, is to help people change their life. That's where KB Rockstar CEO, before it's KB Rockstar Realtor, now it's KB Rockstar CEO, and it's to change your life for the better, self-development, self-improvement. And I use the podcast for me to attract audiences to better themselves, also for the people to know and learn about me, so I can go out there and maybe do keynotes for them, consult them, or people could look into my businesses. Like for yourself, if I didn't know you did on the side, from your strategy, I'll be intrigued by you, then I'll look on your profile, I'm like, oh, okay. So next time in Miami, I can rent a car with this dude and rent a yacht with this guy, or use him as a plug and connect with them. So that was my reason. Question I ask for everyone, ask yourself, why is it that you want to start a podcast, number 1. Number 2, what topic is so natural to you? For some, it's movies. I'm a movie guy. If I didn't do self-development, I would have done a movie podcast. I love movies. I'm not a sports guy, but if you're into sports, like you're into football, do a football podcast. What's natural to you? And don't go for the money. Like people want to make money off it right away. The wrong reason.
Yeah, because you ain't going to see any.
For a long time.
Yeah, and you're going to spend a lot of it.
A lot of it.
Yeah, I think that's what I think is one of the things. A lot of people ask me about the podcast, and I tell them it's a full-time job, and it doesn't have a lot of rewards, so you have to love it. You got to love talking to people. Like I love talking to you. I love learning from my guests. I always learn something. So when I do these interviews, I'm not doing it for monetary gain. I'm doing it for experience.
Yes.
It's like reading a book, every interview that I do, because the knowledge that I get and the things that I learn from each one of my guests, I incorporate that into the real world.
Yeah, but buddy, look, I was thinking about it the other day. I have made probably handful of friends. My speech is not 100% yet. A handful of friends I made through social media. Good friends, and one of them is you. If I didn't have that podcast, how would I connect with you? Hey, man, I saw you're, on a reality show one day, or I saw you in Vice one time. Okay, buddy, thank you. Like, that would be it.
Yeah.
But hey, you want to go to my podcast?
Yeah.
You're from Queens, from Brooklyn. We talked about. So now we have friendship. That podcast of mine made us become friends, and use this platform to make friends, to learn from, provide value, take value, be there for them, because like friendships are really important. You are the sum of 5 people you surround yourself with. So because of SOS podcast, I am now around amazing individuals, including yourself.
Yes. At South Beach Strategy, we want to try to give people that are out there an opportunity to see people who have gone through similar situations that they may have gone through. Like for you, the stroke and the bounce back. Maybe there's somebody at home who might be in the same situation that's saying, man, am I going to bounce back? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be able to work in? I want them to see you and say, look at this guy. You know what I mean? He did it. You could do it too. And hopefully that motivates them to get back, because there's a lot of successful entrepreneurs out there. There's a lot of realtors out there. There's a lot of people with med spas.
A lot.
But what separates you is the success with the bouncing back physically, your family, your kids. Like, that's something that a lot of people don't have, and you have that. And I hope that when somebody watches this interview, which is why I wanted to interview you.
Appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
So I could learn the background, and I'm looking forward to the wife podcast. When's that?
Yeah.
When are you interviewing her?
I asked her to come on the podcast.
And what'd she say?
She's like, we will do it one day.
Tell we got to do it. Tell her, hey,
the
demand is high right now. I'm not gonna watch any more of your stuff until you interview her, because I want to know how did she do it? What made her not quit? Because she must have been there when you were in that coma, sitting to herself saying, whoa, I'm pregnant.
I chose this guy.
She was pregnant?
She's pregnant.
She was pregnant. She must have been like, I'm pregnant. We have a kid.
Yes.
This guy's a vegetable here.
Yes.
I'm by myself. What am I going to do?
100%.
That is, you need to be resilient for that.
You have to be.
And I want to know what she did.
Yeah. No.
So tell her the demand is high. Tell her on high. So Jay Kuza wants to see your podcast, and see how you did it. Because I think a lot of people would have ran for the hills.
Oh, 100%, bro. I know.
And her parents bust your balls with that too, right?
A little bit. My mother-in-law does. She's in Washington.
Yeah, she tells you, right?
A little bit she does.
I'm sure they pull that card out on you.
By the way, shout out not only to her mom and dad took me in. They gave me their master bedroom. They gave me my own bath, like, son. And the word they said to me, I get very emotional to talk about this on the podcast. They looked at me and said, son, you take your time healing. They're not my parents. They're her parents. My dad divorced, left a long time when my mom passed away. So, besides some uncles and aunts who I love to death, but, they had their own responsibility. But it wasn't my in-laws' responsibility to take me in. Yes, I'm married to their daughter, but hey, daughter, you guys have a little bit of money. Go find your way. No. Instead, they took me in and they helped me with my kids. They let me their home to heal and recover and become the best version of myself right now.
You see, when you ask me the idea about success, I don't go out there and look to see what Rolls Royce you came in. I like hearing this when I see that you have your in-laws treat you like a son.
Oh, they do.
You have a great wife. Kids, that to me is success. I'm saying it here, and to me, that looks like a bank account with billions of dollars. You say
that. You said it a few times. And I told my wife the other day, I'm like, Jay says that. She's like, wow, he's saying that. But, looking at you, man, you have all these toys around you, live in paradise. But when you say that, Jay, it makes me really think, man, like, wow, maybe I'm not realizing how good it is what I have. And people don't realize how good they have until it's too late.
Because dollars come and go. How many billionaires do we know were up, down, here today, gone tomorrow? Their accounts, that money fluctuates. It's not something that you could rest your head on and it's concrete. But when you have a solid family that you could say, hey, if I have a stroke, they got my back, that nothing's going to break that, and you can't be anywhere without that. And that will lead to generational wealth because, man, you guys are already starting with the foundation and its stability. And that's why I asked, where would you be without her? Because without her, there's no stability. If there was no stability, maybe back on the pills again.
Maybe.
God knows. Because she wouldn't have pushed you to get back into real estate. Yeah. So I think the key to success is stability. Where do you get stability from? Family, from home, from that home life, the people around you that are closest to you. We all have friends and stuff, but they all have their own lives too, So when you have that, you can always build on that. You could fall like you did, get back up, and keep on going, and a lot of people they don't have that.
They don't have that.
They don't have that, and I think that they would have ended up probably back on the pills. How did you said it? You were not feeling good. You didn't have the job, and you were going to like these places.
Depressed.
Your wife is successful. She's a doctor, right?
It was very
Yeah.
right? I'm insecure. I'm like, what the hell? Like, look at her now.
Yeah. And you're going to these parties, and and as a man,
You like,
you
what the
know,
hell?
and I don't think people understand that. The people say the women have it tough, but the men, we have it tough too.
Oh, yeah.
Because we want to be that backbone for our family, and we want to be the support system
Provider,
for
system.
and I'm sure you have an ego,
100%. I'm
So,
Pakistani American, bro.
yeah.
Like, we have this in our blood.
you have a chip,
I have a chip.
and you got an ego.
Yeah.
And here you are bouncing back from a stroke, still a vegetable, struggling with everything, and she's pushing you to be better, and that's how you got back up on the horse and you got to
100%.
her. So, I think that's great. I mean, for me, that's success. You made it already,
Thank
bro.
you, Jay. That
Everything
means a
else is
lot.
gonna come, go.
That's true, brother.
You never know. One of your little daughters, they're gonna turn into Elon Musk, and now you got billions. So that having those two girls, I mean, that's a blessing right there
Thank
in
you,
its
brother.
own.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so now let's go into some other topics. All right, faith.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you talk about God. Because you say on your bio, God's servant. Tell us about that.
I am born into a Muslim family. I do consider myself Muslim. I'm not a very good practicing Muslim. I never played within the lines. I never drew color within the lines. I'm an entrepreneur. I've always been. I think that I've always been this rock star entrepreneur person. When I see the word rock stars are never normal. They're a little bit all over. They're a little messy. They're creative. They're out there, and they're fucking badasses. And I myself call myself a rock star for that reason. And religions. I love religion. I've gone to churches, synagogues, temples, and mosques. All of them are beautiful. I respect them. I love every one of them. I personally feel there's a higher power. Now you want to call it Allah, Jesus, the Holy Father, whatever you want to call it, it's on you. But for me, it's a higher power source. And I connect every single day. And I connected when my dad left, when my mom got diagnosed, when my mom died, when I was struggling with the pills back in the day, whatever I'm struggling with in my life, financial ups and downs, I've always turned to source and connected. And I also feel God is all over. God is part of us. We are one with God. The other day I was watching Danny Morel talk about something. Danny Morel's a speaker, entrepreneur. He goes, listen, God, people often say God here outside. God is within you. And I know my Muslim friends are going to watch, they're going to give me some crap about it. My Christian friends are going to give me crap about it. And look, this is my perspective. Right or wrong, it's up to you. But I think God is all within us. And so I have a strong faith in God, number one. Number two, we are here. I'm here as a vessel, Jay. Jay, I'm here as a vessel to deliver a message. I'm not a prophet. I'm not the Messiah. I'm a regular human being trying to be a good example for my daughters, for my wife, my friends, my friend Jay, everyone I come across, anyone I meet, I shake their hand, I talk to them. I hope, I aim to leave you, when you leave me after saying hi to me, you leave a little bit better as you came to me. That is my goal. With that being said, I'm a big believer in manifestation. Now, people say, well, that's woo-woo shit, that's devil's work. No, the Bible has scripture in it of when you pray to God, act like you already received it. Islam, Muslim religion have faith. It's called tawakkul. Judaism has it. All religions have it. It's a different way to do it. So manifestation was a big part of my recovery. Close your eyes. You visualize. Okay, one day I'll be walking again. I'll be opening doors, selling homes. How's it gonna make me feel? Write down an affirmation. I am a man. I am a successful man. I am a millionaire. We are all born with subconscious minds. Our subconscious mind is what determines our habits. Our habits determine our reality. If we can go in there and reprogram our subconscious mind with affirmations, visualization, just talking back to yourself, and lastly, not last, but also taking action with prayer, you can change your reality. And I promise you, if you start every day, your morning, with journaling, gratitude, making a prayer, closing your eyes, and visualizing what your outcome should be, and going out there in the world and taking action, you can change your life with alignment to God.
Well, that was deep. And there's not a lot of Muslims out there popping pills in the club, right?
I think they are. They are a few, but yeah.
There's a few, but not many, right? It's not really very Muslim style to do that.
Hey,
And
listen, by the way, Jay. I mean, I think you probably see a lot of Arabs come here to party, and
For sure.
they drink alcohol.
Yeah.
They do a lot of stuff.
They do?
Yeah.
I think that as long as I think it's what you believe.
What you
know,
believe.
what you believe, and and it doesn't matter what you believe.
Yes.
As long as you believe in something, and I respect everybody's religion. For me personally, I think that everybody should respect other people's religions.
100%.
And that alone will just if the person believes in something, they're gonna strive to be a better person. So I think that we all should respect, because you said that people give people hard times over the religions and stuff like that. It's kind of something you mentioned along the lines.
For the manifestation, like, oh no, dude, that's devil's thing.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
not, man. It's not. It's another way to make.
Why
it
do people
clear.
gotta bust everybody's balls? Like, can't
You
they
know
just
why?
let?
I can tell you why. People like to not take accountability and take any control. So I'm broke, and I'm a loser. God's will, bro. I can't do much. God's will. This is what I'm living right now. No, you asshole. It's God's will is not that. You are God's greatest creator. Whoever religion you believe in, you are the greatest creation He's made. It's your job to eat right, live well, exercise, read some books, listen to podcasts, elevate your mind, go open the door and help if I'm Muslim, it's my job to help my fellow Christian and my fellow Jewish person down the road. Right now, there's a big battle happening in the Middle East right now between the Palestinians and the Israelis. Bro, put that aside, man. I know a lot of great Jewish friends of mine from Brooklyn, New York. Till this day, great people. That shit happening there. It's politics, man. But there's great people and bad people in all religions. So life is an adventure. It's a book. Open your fucking book. Go out there, live it, and give thanks to the higher power. But take some control. Take some accountability.
I don't think people want to take accountability. They don't want to do shit.
They don't want to do shit.
They don't want to do shit. I think that has to do with the social media. It wasn't like that before. I know something's changed.
Not in our time.
Since no, not our time. No, it wasn't like that.
I bet your dad probably tell you like he had a tough, and he probably did. How old is your dad?
I am 46.
How about your father?
He's 76.
So your dad saw a tough time where they were completely physical, and
Yeah.
they probably laughed at you. Like my dad laughed at me.
Oh, my dad was a workhorse.
Yeah.
My dad was a workhorse who came from Cuba to the United States and went to put himself through school and worked full time.
Provide for the family.
Yeah, to provide for the family, and he's self-made. He got a job somewhere and he worked his way up and eventually owned his own company, and he did well on his own. So I always saw the work effort in my household was always very strong. Like there was no pity party. There was always, you got to go out there and you got to do it. Like, you don't got a choice. And that clock was always on the door. Hey, when you turn that 1-8, boom. So you're getting the boot. My sisters were out of the house before 18.
You told me this.
Yeah, so they like that's just how my family moved. And I mean, that's a New York thing, I think.
It is a New York thing.
I don't think that here you don't see that.
No, now they live with their parents for a long time.
Yeah, 30s.
Yes.
I've had guys that work for me here, and they still live with their mom in their 30s,
yeah.
and they're happy with that. And that's cool, I guess, if they
You
like
get
to do
food
that.
and you iron cold,
Yeah.
washed and stuff.
But that's not how it is in New York. That's not how you're raised. You're raised to be independent and keep it moving, and only the strong survive, and it's a lot more hustle mentality.
100%. Go out there and fall. Like you learn from more failures. Like people are so afraid to fail. And honestly, I think I should be the opposite. If my girls get older, I'm telling them, like, you need to fail a little bit. Not intentionally go fail, but try things, do the best you can. And if it doesn't go through the right way you want it to go, it's okay. You learn from it.
Well, my business partner in the supplement company, Bib, shout out to Beazle. He always told me, he said, perseverance in the face of adversity defines your character. And that is a saying that always stuck with me because it's so true, If things are just given to you, here you go, papi, here you go, this is for you, How do you develop as a person, as a man? How do you grow, And the Patrick Bet-Davids of the world and all these guys that you look up to, they all had stories. If you listen to their stories about how they fell many times before they succeeded, and if they
Elon,
would have quit,
man.
Elon he's like one of the best ones, you know. And I mean, yeah, obviously, maybe I don't really know his childhood, his family. Maybe they were well off or whatever. But when you're building a company,
Doesn't matter.
yeah, it
Bro.
doesn't matter. And you when you go broke, you go broke. You know, it's just what it is. If your parents are good and you have millions or whatever they get, that's their money.
Yeah.
You know, your company still has to survive.
Sure.
You're not dumping money from your pocket that you don't have. You have to find a way to get it and keep it moving forward. And sometimes those failures, you know, I mean, he had the car before Tesla, you know, that didn't do very well. And I remember those cars that were garbage, you know, but he kept going.
You know
know
the story, right? He was asleep in his office. He had lost almost everything. And then in the SpaceX thing, he lost almost everything. And his people to come to the office to work, and they see him waking up there and say, all right, guys, let's go to work. Imagine you're sleeping here, Jay, and your people come in. Like, that's what he was doing.
Yeah. I mean, the best leaders that I ever worked for, they were all like that. Like, they were just workaholics. You know, I was lucky enough to learn from guys that were just, and they did the basics. Like, if I say what are the best things that I learned from the people that mentored me, it's not the business stuff. It's the intangible things. You know, it's the one of my old bosses would come, and as soon as he walked in it was in the gym when I worked in the gym, he would come in the gym and the first thing he would do is clean the bathrooms, you know. And he was the boss of the whole place. We had maintenance people for that. That's not what that wasn't his routine. His routine was to come in and go straight to the bathrooms. And I remember when I started working for him, I had gotten transferred a promotion there to be an assistant manager. And the first day I got there, he said, Jay, let's go to the bathrooms, and we're cleaning up the locker room. And I'm like, why are we doing this? I just got a promotion to be an assistant manager here. You know, why am I cleaning lockers? He's like, because when we bring people to the gym to sell them memberships, the tour starts here.
I used to do the same thing, bro.
And if the locker room is a mess,
First sign,
people are not going to join. So we need to make sure that the locker, and plus, when the staff sees that this is how you start your day, what do you think they're going to do?
100%.
They're going to get their ass in motion, you know? So that stuck with me. When I worked in the car rental business, we had a car wash guy, but the owner, who was my friend, when he was backed up, he didn't ask questions. He walked right out the door and he went out there and he was washing cars. And I remember looking at him and I was like, why are we out here washing cars, you know? And he's like, because we got to wash cars. That's what we do here. You know, we got to present them, you know, clean to the clients. And when I saw him do it, I rolled up my sleeves and I started doing it. And I'm actually glad that I did, because that is actually put me at ease. Doing that, washing of the cars, I started enjoying it. You know, I took that as a sign. Like I started really, really enjoying it. It was a time,
right?
very therapeutic. Yeah. You know, so it's like these intangible things that you pick up from good leaders that we had. What's something that you may have picked up from someone that you worked for? You mentioned the guy that you worked for that now you guys are friends. Is he someone that was? You said he was a mentor.
Oh yeah, Alex Rodriguez is his name. Shout out to Azul. They're down the road from here. Dude, Alex, it's a fun story. You should have him on the podcast. He did jail time, 10 years from Chicago. Came out of jail, went to entrepreneurship, never looked back. And what I learned from him was that he was on the floor with the team. Like right now, I run Neuro Med Spa and Wellness very much like Alex ran Azul. And what I still like about him, that he was in the trenches with the team, number one. Number two, he never liked the word boss. Me and my team members sometimes call me boss. So this is my boss, and I cringe. The same thing I have to do with him. Like, hey, Alex is my boss. He's like, dude, KB, don't call me your boss. And so, you know, he had no ego. You know, he was on the floor with the crew. You know, communication-wise, amazing. And so, you know, he was one mentor. My original mentor who taught me what I knew, his name is Ehab. Ehab at a place called Off the Hookah. I don't know if you remember Off the Hookah in Bayside. He had 4 of them. Shout out to Ehab if you watch this, bro. I love you, brother. He was my original mentor when I was 20 years old. I came from Brooklyn. I got my job at 24 Hours Fitness in Plantation, Florida. He was the AGM. He taught me how to do sales, how to shake your hand, eye contact, rebuttals. And I actually owe it to him, to whatever I am in business and sales and marketing and branding, to him now. And that was like 20 years ago. And what he taught me was, when you do business, you bring yourself down and you connect with a person. People want to buy you instead of what you're selling. So I became in 12 months I became a sales consultant to AGM. I got promoted based on his teaching. So like a lot. And by the way, I think also in the medical spa world, we do a lot of hospitality stuff. Same thing for you. Hospitality strategies are something I recommend all business owners to look into. There's a book I forgot Patrick talks about all the time. And Will Gueda, he's a chef, owner, restaurateur from New York, and he talks about how he used to go. He had people come in. He used to remember their birthday and bring a little cake. These little things, my friend Jay, if you're an entrepreneur or you learn to be an entrepreneur, celebrate your clients' birthdays. Remember the little things. If Jay comes to my med spa tomorrow and he has a dog, as the owner, I should remember the dog's name. If he has his girlfriend's birthday coming up and he shares that with me, I should have my assistant or my friend desk to take a note of that and text him, hey, for your girlfriend's birthday, free facial on us. These little techniques I've learned from Ehab and Alex that I run in my life now. Remember the little things. It goes far.
That was a big one there.
Yeah.
You had a lot there to unpack, especially with the gym stuff, because you worked at LA Fitness.
I was,
and when you said that, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, well, you worked at the gym too, because I started Bally Total Fitness.
Yes.
You guys took us out of business.
Yeah.
But I left Bally's right when the merger happened. I saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
And I got into real estate, so I got out of it at that point. But it's true, man. Remember the little stuff. And when you were talking, I was just thinking, it was making me think so many things.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, and how that advice that he gave you, really, I've also received it, in a similar way. And I started incorporating that, and I'm like, man, that really did change a lot of things for me too, and
the little things, right? Over the
little
years.
things. And I used to have a lot of guys that when I was talking to Royalty about this before we started the podcast, I had a lot of guys that used to help me with the direct contact with the clients, but I just realized, and my old business partner, again, another thing that he did that he would always push me, he's like, man, you got to keep being in the front run with the clients, because they really enjoy talking to you. These guys are good and they do their part, but people really enjoy doing business with you.
Yeah.
That's what they're coming here. That's what they're spending the money on. They want to deal with you. And our guys do their part and they try, but it's not the same thing. So when you have a heavy hitter client who comes in and he's not, when he gets to the ground and you're not there, it's somebody else. And people try to do the best that they can, but it's not the same thing, and that's all stuff that I've took with me over the years, and I've incorporated, and it worked out in my advantage. So everything that you were saying is spot on, 100%. These are all things that you got to do. All right, so to wrap it up, what was the biggest risk you ever took?
Oh, wow. A business risk? For business, or?
It could be anything. I mean, you have such an interesting life that you've done so many different things. What was something that you said paid off? A decision was it getting married?
That was one of them. Because belong to a divorced family, you don't have a good picture of what a good marriage should be. That was very tough. My marriage suffered a lot. My wife would tell you that. Even now, we do a lot.
Well, how are we gonna know? She won't do the podcast.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have her be your guest.
Let me interview her. Man, I got a line of questions for her.
She will do great.
I have a feeling you're gonna get ripped. Huh?
I think the biggest risk I would say would be the med spa. Was a very expensive investment. It wasn't like I bought and sold cars in the past. I did e-commerce. I did houses. Even flipping houses is not a big deal. Like you can get a little loan, but the medical spa we built a brand new office from the ground up. And knock on wood, alhamdulillah. It's coming along, but it's still scary, bro. We're year 2. Year number 3 now, but you never know. So.
Well, now that you're doing that, you mentioned that. So I want to touch up on this, because you must have you got to have a lot of people working for you. How's that?
But you know what? I'm a ladies' man. I'm a ladies' man in a different way you would think. I always had my mom and grandpa raised me. My aunt took me in. My wife brought me in her life with her mom, her sister. I have a medical spa with all women, dude. I've always had women around me. It's so funny. God's work the way. I have 2 daughters at home, so I didn't date a lot, but I worked with a lot of women my whole life. I have a lot of girls working with me, and my wife said, "She's like, babe, you have this natural way to work with women. You're so good at it." I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I want to be a masculine guy, but I guess I have something about me. Leading women is sort of different. coming from the real estate world, having men and say, hey, guys, want to go out there, I want to do some of these many homes and we're going to close this much and let's go rah, rah, rah. You can't do that with a woman. You have to see what they're about, what's their need, what's their why. And you have to motivate them, inspire them in different ways. So we're really blessed working with my amazing team. Our vision, our goal is to open multiple clinics across the probably U.S. right now, Florida, but around the U.S. And, inshallah, you have to have the right team to do it, man.
I don't think people understand when you have women around you that want to work and believe in what they're doing, how good they are.
That's true.
And and you have a team of women at your business that believe in what you're doing. You got to manage them.
Yes.
But if they believe in what you're doing and they're happy and they like what they do, you can't have better help,
You're right about
Royalty
that.
is a good example right here,
He's awesome.
I have Katia, I have, Krusty, I have other people, I just have great women around me as well. And,
You're
I
like
think
myself.
that
Yeah, a
they're
lot of
so
women
good. And, I mean, your wife.
Yes.
Like, man, the women are the backbone right now. I don't know. Like, honestly, I'm looking more for women when I'm doing stuff than guys because guys just seem to be very unreliable. They're not very smart. No offense, guys, but,
I think
not the smartest.
men are becoming mama's boys. I was a mama boy, dude. I'm not going to deny that. But I always worked, though. My moms that are tough on me. But, man, you're 100% right. Girls these days are more tougher. And, and they shouldn't be there. They should be their feminine energy, but they know they have to work, bro. Today's day and age, everyone has to work. So, like, I agree with you. Women tend to work better and they understand visions, understand your leadership better than most guys do, in my experience.
Yeah, and I'm not even lying, but I've been thinking over the last few months, women are some of my best spenders too. Like my biggest, oh man, they've been going. Like I've been to a point where I'm like, man, I'm about to put it on the gram. Like girls are going hard. They come, they pay,
for the
they
cars?
for everything, for everything. The cars, the yachts. They come, they pay, they spend. They know what they want. They don't play. They're on point. They're responsible. They're just a pleasure to work with, and they go extremely hard. It's not no little business, big business, and they're just coming through. And I think it's just maybe accumulation of like what we're saying, like so many women out there that are so good at what they're doing, they're receiving the benefits of it, they're making the money, and they're out there spending it because I'm seeing it. Like I get texted by women and I know, oh, this is gonna be a good one, and it always ends up being one, and they're on point and they know what they want and they're good. So yeah, I think women are good on both ends. They're good workers and they're good spenders, and I like it.
Yeah,
so, KB, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. It was a great podcast. I'm so happy that we got a chance to interview you this time.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to my interview.
Oh, my guy sent me the footage today earlier. He's like, who's this Larsa Pip? He's in India. I'm like, dude, you know who Larsa Pippen is, bro. Like, you should look at her pictures. You'll know real fast. Beautiful woman. And like, bro, I can't wait to release that for your audience here. You're going to probably see Jay's interview with me first and tune in for that. One of my best interviews. Guy came in for an hour, stayed for like 2 hours. You've always been a pleasure, Jay. Once again, to recap, man, just proud of you, man. To do this is not easy. Like, I don't have my own studio. I rent studios. To have this set up and I've worked with you now 3 times. You are a true professional. Like, it gets a bad rap. Like, you're from Miami, Papi Chulo, bro. I'll call you later. 1 o'clock means 2 o'clock. You come in. No. Homeboy doesn't play. And I love that about you, bro. On time.
Well, from New York, though.
Yeah. I forget that. Sometimes I forget that. I've been in Florida more than I've been in New York. But you're right, though. The origin, it's from New York.
We've only interviewed one person from Miami so far.
No way.
Everybody else has been somewhere. Yeah, my doctor, she's from here, with a Cuban background, but she was born here. And we went to school together. But other than her, everybody's been from somewhere else. So, I think that New York DNA says a lot, But there's people here that work and do their stuff because I know them, but a lot of them are women that are from Miami that are entrepreneurs and they're doing their thing. They're very smart. And it's just, the New York DNA, I think, is different. We come here and we want to be successful. It's something about the weather motivates us to just do more,
I agree with you.
But I don't play. I respect everybody's time. I respect your time.
Appreciate
and I thank you for coming, my brother.
Man.
You're the man.
You're the best, bro.
Thank you, my bro.
Thank you. Appreciate you.